Okay.
We destroyed that great nation. We destroyed those principles. We undermined them. And so these World Health Organization accords and the amendments that are being considered, they are bad, folks. It literally, according to Matt Staver, takes us back to Buck v. Bell. That's one of the worst decisions ever by the Supreme Court. It's the one that it was basically said that eugenics was okay. I talked about this if you listen every day, you may remember me talking about this a while back whenever we were talking about the Jacobson case. The Jacobson case is the one that allows for vaccine, not, and I have to be careful with my terminology because people think when I say mandate or if I say requirement that means what Dershowitz said back when this all started, that they can drag you out of your home and plunge the needle into your arm. That is not what the Jacobson case said, and there is nothing in the Constitution that would ever allow for that. But there are certainly those that would like to do that. And the Supreme Court had some decisions after the Jacobson case out of Massachusetts, which dealt with a guy that did not want to get a vaccine there. I believe it was smallpox. I'm blanking on it right now, but I'm pretty sure it was smallpox. Didn't want to get the vaccine because of a genetic disposition to potentially have a negative reaction, which is one of the main reasons you should be able to refuse to get vaccines. And went all the way to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court said that you could have a requirement when there's a pandemic, but you have to have exceptions, and you have to have a way for somebody to say no. And if they say no, then in this case, it was a $5 fine, $145 today. That was the Jacobson case. That led to the Buck v. Bell case, which is where Oliver Wendell Holmes said 3 generations of imbeciles are enough. In other words, they were for forced sterilization. Forced sterilization. The Supreme Court of the United States supported this, Buck v. Bell. Now, that is what, according to Matt Staver, and I agree with him as I'm reading through this, that's what these amendments on the WHO, on the World Health Organization accords, it's a treaty, folks, but the World Health Organization treaty, we'd be going back to that. We'd be going back to letting some government entity, and in this case, an international government entity, make your health decisions and force medical procedures on you. That's what they want to do. That's what this whole World Health Organization thing is about. It's about control. They use quote-unquote public health. They always claim it's about public health. That's how they scare people into submission. That's what they did throughout the COVID crackdowns. But this would be even worse, because rather than having an administration at the federal level or at the state level that you can hold accountable and that you can convince to not go along with some international organization, in this case, they're handing that power over. Now, I don't believe that's constitutional. It's not, of course. The Senate should have to approve that, but even if the Senate approved it, it would still be unconstitutional and potentially struck down by the Supreme Court, and no matter what, should be fought against in one of those areas where civil disobedience would absolutely be appropriate. And let's not forget what the Founding Fathers love to say. Rebellion to tyrants is obedience to God. So if this thing happens, this might be one of those things where we have to say, nope, not in my state, not in my community, certainly not in my family. But it's a dangerous, dangerous road. So lc.org is the website. Go to Liberty Counsel, support them, and get on their email list, and you'll get these updates on not only the WHO treaty, but some of the other things that Matt's working on. Stay with us, folks. We'll be right back on At the Core with Walker Wildman and Rick Green.
And he who earns wages to put into a purse with holes. My name is Abraham Hamilton III, and this is the Hamilton Minute. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers has informed the Senate Armed Services Committee that the cancellation of former President Trump's border wall contracts by the Biden administration left a variety of excess materials, and the total cost to store, maintain, and secure all the materials across all sites is estimated to be approximately $130,000 per day. Yep, you heard that right. The Department of Defense is spending $130,000 a day on border wall materials that are sitting in storage. Yet the American people are forced to bear the brunt of this record-high immigration invasion.
Listen each weekday from 5 to 6 p.m. Central for the Hamilton Corner with Abraham Hamilton III, Public Policy Analyst for the American Family Association.
This
This is Raising Godly Girls Minute with Patty Garibay of American Heritage Girls.
Some kids are kinesthetic learners, meaning they learn by doing. These folks often will doodle while listening as their brain assimilates information, getting it into their muscle memory. If your girl is wired to learn in this way, take a look at her Bible. Within those pages, she may have a plethora of markings, and this is a good sign. Proverbs 7 begins with the wise instruction to store up God's commands by writing them on the tablet of our hearts. What better way to forever have God's word in your girl's heart than by interacting with her Bible? Get your girl a journal to accompany her favorite Bible, or better yet, consider purchasing her a note-taking Bible that comes with open margin space, perfect for her natural tendency to doodle while learning.
We are all called to raise up the next generation of Christian leaders. Learn more about empowering girls through the love of God at raisinggodlygirls.com.
The following is not an actor, but a real-life story from Trinity Debt Management.
I'm Corey, and this is my story. I was going through some financial troubles paying off my credit cards. I was paying high interest rates, and it just wasn't getting any better. And I knew I had to do something. So my mom told me about Trinity, and so I decided to call. Trinity was able to do something that I couldn't. I'm paying off my debt. I'm saving thousands, and things are really looking up. I promise you guys, you will not regret it when you call Trinity, because it was such a relief and less stress in my life, and it was the best thing I could have done for myself, because once I called Trinity, they took care of me, and I felt such a relief, a weight off my shoulders, and they are a Christian-based company. I love it.
If you're in debt and you need help, call Trinity at 1-800-788-1813.
I'm Corey, and I'm debt-free for keeps.
1-800-788-1813. At the Core podcasts are available at AFR.net. Now, back to At the Core on American Family Radio.
We're back here on At the Core with Walker Robin and Rick Green. Rick Green, America's Constitution Coach, hosting this afternoon. Thanks for staying with me on this Wednesday. And one more day with you tomorrow, and then Walker will be back on Friday. I mentioned, that I would talk a little bit about the Trump thing. Let's just catch up on the headlines today. No indictment today. Apparently, they're even, if I read this right, they even dismissed the grand jury for the day. So who knows what's going to happen with this thing? My gut said from the beginning, even last weekend, as this stuff came out, this is going to be a circus, as Ron DeSantis put it. I think that's accurate, and that, probably it's not going to become what everybody is thinking it's going to become. Now, whether that's because we all pushed back and everybody said this is wrong, and we pointed out the hypocrisy that you've got the Biden family flaunting their corruption and nothing like this happening to them, it may be because of that, or it just may be that it was a chess game all along. I don't know, and he very well may still be arrested and may still have an indictment, be arrested and walking the whole 9 yards. So who knows? But at this point, it looks like it's getting put off a little more. Last thing I saw last night before I went to bed was that they were going to issue the indictment today, and then he was going to turn himself in next week, and he was going to be arraigned in court there next week. But again, who knows? Who knows? I think it is. It's at least, as we said earlier this week, it's at least a wake-up call. It emboldens those who recognize the hypocrisy here, who recognize the two-tier justice system, and makes more people want to be involved in making a difference. It should never, when you see this kind of stuff happen, it should never make you want to check out and give up. It should make you want to lean in and do more. And so I hope that is the response across the nation, and that more people get engaged in this thing and say, not on my watch are we going to allow for this two-tier justice system to continue. People are truly, truly sick of it. All right, let's go to the phones. 888-589-8840 is the phone number. 888-589-8840. You can call in with your comments, questions, insults, whatever you got. We'll take it all. We're going to go to Leona in Arkansas. What part of Arkansas are we calling the Hogs from today, Leona?
Fort Smith.
All right. I've been up there a few times, spoken all around that area. Well, go ahead. What's your comment or question?
Well, this morning I listened to Jenna interview Rama Sawani running for president,
Yes.
and I was totally impressed. And I feel like Trump would be the president, and this is be an excellent vice president and take DeSantis off the table?
Well, he is, Vivek's an amazing guy. I've met him. I've heard him speak live a couple of times. I've been very, very impressed with him. Remarkable life story. His whole family story is incredible. Extremely successful and incredibly articulate. I mean, he knows what time it is. He sees the field. He's basically what I would call a man of Issachar. He understands the times, and knows what to do. He's got I think, a fantastic plan. He is very much against all of this CRT and everything else that is destroying the America that his parents came to and that his family, was drawn to. And so I think his message is incredibly powerful. I agree he would be phenomenal. I think he'd be a fantastic vice president. I think he'd be a fantastic governor. I'd love to have him in any level of leadership based on what I've seen so far, and we'll see. It's always a challenge for me at the presidential or vice presidential level to have someone that has never held elected office at all, has never been a public servant in that way, and been forced to be held accountable. In other words, when you're in office, if you're a legislator, you've got to push the button, man. You got to vote. You got to vote on the floor. You got to choose yes or no on thousands of issues, and it forces you to take a stand. And there's a track record for whether or not you took a stand, and whether or not you just have good instincts on the issues and all of those things. And when you have someone like a Donald Trump was, or Vivek in this case, who's running, who's never held office, you don't know. You know what they're saying, you know what the rhetoric is, and you do the best you can with what you got where you are. But that was one of my hesitations on President Trump as well in 2016. Now, he proved to be everything he said he was going to be. I mean, he did exactly in office what he said on the campaign trail he was going to do. In fact, he did better. He moved ahead of Ronald Reagan on my list of top 5 presidents. That tells you something. So it's not that you can never gamble on somebody like that and vote for somebody that does not have a track record. And Vivek actually is probably more prepared and likely to do a better job in public office even than Trump did, based on what I've seen about him. So I echo what you were saying. I think he would be phenomenal. He is incredibly impressive. I think we'll learn a lot in the next few months. This campaign is just starting, and we're looking at 6, 8, 9 months of intense campaigning prior to even the Iowa caucus. And it's, I've said from the beginning, I think it's Trump's to win or lose. It's up to him. If he continues to be petty in his attacks on DeSantis or anybody that's a threat, I think that's going to hurt him in the long run. I don't know that it'll keep him from getting the nomination. I think he's so far ahead, and there's such a strong base for him, and at least we know what we're getting with him. And frankly, I want the bull in the china closet for another 4 years in Washington, D.C., so I want someone that's going to go in and, drain the swamp and wreak havoc against this out-of-control federal machine. And then after that, I would love to see Vivek or Ron DeSantis president for 8 years to rebuild the republic back to a true federalist system, which is where you have a limited federal government, where it only does those things that we have said in the Constitution that they could do. And I think they are more equipped and likely to DeSantis is probably the most equipped and likely to do that part, the rebuilding part, than anybody else in the field. And Vivek he may prove to be that. So I guess I'm echoing what you were saying, except for the fact that I'm not for necessarily taking DeSantis off the table. I frankly, my druthers, if I have my druthers, if I could just pick, if everybody who wants to put me in charge, I like that idea. I get to be king, not king for a day, I get to be kingmaker for a day, and I get to choose where all these, okay, so here's how I would do it if that was the case. I would want Trump to be president for 4 more years, as I said, be the bull in the china closet. I'd want Carrie Lake to be vice president. I'd love to see her elevated in that way and on the national stage and articulating the conservative perspective as she did so well throughout her campaign for Arizona governor. And I would like to see DeSantis as governor for a few more years, because I think it's just as important to have a couple of really good governors in this country to set the example and show, again, how federalism should work, what the states should be doing versus what the feds should be doing. And DeSantis has done that better than anyone, by far. Like, no one's even close to what he has done and how well he has done governor in Florida. So that would be my dream situation. And Vivek in there maybe as Secretary of something, maybe Secretary of State. I mean, maybe no telling, but definitely in the top part. of the administration. And then perhaps, after 4 years of Bush and Bush, oh wow, boy, that's I can't. Surely that's not a Freudian slip. Maybe it's because I was talking about Bush earlier and the Who. We don't need another Bush, that's for sure. No, if sorry, I was thinking about a few jokes I usually tell about Bush, but I'm not going to do that on the air. Okay. Anyway, so if you had Trump for 4 more years and Kari Lake as his VP, again, I'm getting to choose all of this, so this is my dream world, right? So Trump, Kari Lake, they go 4 years. Then Kari Lake goes back and runs for governor again in Arizona and takes Arizona back and proves how to do really well in Arizona. Maybe she even does that halfway through the first or the second administration of Trump. So in other words, she only serves as VP for 2 years, and then she goes back and runs for governor in Arizona. And fixes Arizona, which is desperately needed, and she would be the one to do that. And then, Trump appoints someone else as VP, maybe DeSantis at that point, or maybe Vivek, or maybe, Kristi Noem, or whoever. But under that dream scenario that I'm describing right now, you get, I think, probably an amazing ticket in terms of Trump and Kari Lake. I think that would be a really good ticket running for president, or Ron DeSantis and Kari Lake. So I would take either of those scenarios, and then during all of that, time, President, Trump and Vice President Kari Lake, and then Kari Lake going and being governor of Arizona, Ron DeSantis continuing to prove how to be a really good governor, setting the example in Florida. Somehow, some way, they continue to make Greg Abbott be a good governor, and then eventually, DeSantis or Kari Lake or Vivek becomes the next Republican president and serves for 8 years and rebuilds. So there you go. It's that easy, folks. You just if you're dictator for a day, you can solve everybody's problems and make it work out perfect. Maybe not. All right, Gary in Virginia has something to say about Trump and DeSantis. Go ahead, Gary. What's your comment or question today?
Well, I think this way.
Hey, Gary, try that again. I lost you.
Trump will be president, and DeSantis will be vice president.
That's your dream ticket, huh?
That's a dream. That's a dream, and then when Trump's over with, DeSantis runs for president, and then he'll be in there for 8 more years.
Yeah, look, I'll take that one too. That was kind of what I was thinking, months ago for sure. I don't know if they can. They're starting to get it. I mean, DeSantis hasn't taken the bait yet. I mean, Trump's been childish about his attacks on DeSantis, and DeSantis has avoided weighing into that fray. I think today or yesterday he finally had a few things to say, and so that could get muddy. I hate for those guys to do that, but that's the Trump's way. Trump way. I mean, he did that to Ted Cruz, and I hated every minute of it. As much as I love President Trump and what he's accomplished, that part I do not. I mean, to take that vitriol and that talent of cutting people down, which he has, and use it against the enemy, not your teammates, not the people that are on the same side as us. And I understand he sees DeSantis as the enemy in the primary. And so primaries get bloody, I know, and that's just the nature of it. And listen, Ronald Reagan and George H.W. Bush were not pals. And there was a lot of very heated exchanges. In fact, the best one was the one where they wouldn't do the debate, and Ronald Reagan ended up paying for the debate himself. And they tried to shut off his microphone. Everybody that's older remembers this. And he said, "I paid for this microphone, Mr. Green." It wasn't me. It was some other guy named Mr. Green that was emceeing this thing. It was a great moment. It showed Reagan's strength. And anyway, Reagan ends up winning. And Reagan chose the guy that was his hardest opponent in the primary, George H.W. Bush, as his VP. And so, it could happen. I mean, they could have a knockdown, drag out for the next few months. Could have a knockdown, drag out early into 2024 as those primaries are decided, and then kiss and make up and have a very, very strong ticket. It would be an incredibly strong ticket. I threw out Kari Lake because I just think she was the best. She's the best candidate of our lifetime. I mean, she was so good in Arizona, and there's no question in my mind she won that election, and they stole it in Maricopa County. I mean, there's just no doubt they shut down the voting machines on election day when they knew the Republicans were the majority of the voters showing up, and unfortunately the courts again are failing us on providing the legal remedies for election integrity. They continue to do that, but I good call. I think that's a winnable ticket. Trump and DeSantis, if they can get over their, what the ugliness that's going to happen in the next, potentially for the entire next year. Oh, I hate enduring that, but looks like that's where we're headed. So if they can get over that, be buddies and run together, definitely a power pack team. But I'm king for the day. Don't forget, I'm our kingmaker for the day. So my chess game and the way I want to set the field, it's Donald Trump and Kari Lake, while Ron DeSantis continues to be the best governor in America and the best governor maybe in the history of America. And then he rides in 4 years from now and basically walks away with the nomination and becomes president for 8 years and rebuilds our constitutional republic. And of course, my solution is not perfect, because if Kari Lake does become VP and she does a good job and she's very popular, like I believe she will be, then she's going to want to run for president at that point instead of governor of Arizona. And so then it would be Kari Lake versus Ron DeSantis instead of Kari Lake and Ron DeSantis in that next ticket. So yes, I'm going in circles, because none of it works out perfectly. All right, Andrew in Louisiana is the next caller. Phone number, by the way, forgot to give this out this segment, 888-589-8840. That's 888-589-8840. Andrew, Louisiana, go ahead, man. What's your comment or question today?
Hey, Rick. First of all, I just want to say, man, you really make me learn about history, both biblical and, national, and really inspired me to want to become a Constitution coach one day. I don't know when, but someday.
No time like the present, my man. Right now, today, it's free. Go to patriotacademy.com, get signed up as a Constitution coach. All right, go ahead, brother.
Awesome. So I just recently found out some stuff. Wanted to see what